welcome to Sunday Spotlight, where we feature the work of 3 emerging artists in the web3 space who have fewer than 2,000 followers on Twitter. If you're not familiar with Sunday Spotlight, you can check out my last video, which goes into the origin story of how it all got started with the folks at April 15 NFT. For today's video, we're going to be covering 3 artists who always make my head turn when I'm doom scrolling on Twitter. I own works from all 3 of them, but make no mistake, this is not a shilling video because, well, art is subjective and personal. And it is my personal opinion that one should prioritize work that makes them feel rich in emotion over rich in money. So let's get started. First up is Eder Cruz, a Brazilian artist and graphic designer. Eder uses geometric and abstract shapes, loud color palettes, and human anatomy to paint memorable stories. Eder self-describes his influences to include Black culture, 80s and 90s pop culture, classic art, and design. I vividly remember the first piece of artwork of his that stopped me in my Twitter tracks. Her name is Martha, and she's one of 11. Her exaggerated body and wide gait, emboldened by bright patterns and shapes, is extremely eye-catching, and it made me immediately want to know more about her. Eder creates art across multiple blockchains, and you can find and buy his work on Solana, Tezos, and most recently, Ethereum. Next up is for my anime fans. I always have one for you. SujiPop is an anime pop artist who creates original cyborg characters with bright, euphoric pastels. SujiPop loves integrating mechanical robotic elements with nature and organic details. Take, for instance, this mecha girl relaxing peacefully on a bed of flowers. Or check out this rollerblading cyborg chick who's flying in the air with underwater creatures around her. Or this bionic babe who has a mech friend with a tiger head. When I look at SujiPop's work, I feel a mix of nostalgia, absurdity, but also having fun. Did I mention how adorable this open edition of many of my favorite foods are? Last, probably also one of my greatest obsessions is Mizzy, also known as You Are in My Movie. Because let's face it, we probably are. Mizzy definitely has main character energy, and her work is nothing like many of us have seen before. As a digital textile designer who also teaches art to middle schoolers, Mizzy creates digital collages by processing, reprocessing, and reprocessing photos she takes in the wild or at home. Minimalism is not a word in the Mizzy dictionary, as bouquets and wild growth that show up in her art are extremely bountiful and at times untamed. When you zoom in on each of her pieces, you may even find details that surprise you. Like this crab claw, or this spilled ink. Hey there, Mr. Elephant! This sort of play and backforwardness between searching for something you don't know exists on the micro level and the satisfaction of plentifulness at the macro level makes her art extremely fit for any gallery wall. This wraps today's Sunday Spotlight. If you like the artists and art, you can check out links to their socials in the description below. Give them a follow, maybe check out their art. And if you're in the mood for discovering even more artists, you can also find in the description a link to April 15's curated collection of emerging artists. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video, you can always support me for free by liking, commenting, or subscribing to this channel. As always, thanks for tuning in.